Let's make it a good day.
Coming up today, is it the end of the road for Ellen? And if so, who would replace her? Plus, magical news for Harry Potter fans. We'll have it all in the hot dish. Then The Bachelor is adding more women to the mix mid-season. What is going on? Producer Ted takes us to the heart of Bachelor Nation. And we love her lots. Food blogger and former Letterman producer Madeleine Smithberg is back on our show with another great recipe and another great Letterman story. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Jason Show. We are live from our studios in the Twin Cities at an undisclosed location. Right on Viking Drive in Eden Prairie. Welcome to the show. I'm Jace. Please say hello to my sister from another mister and America's favorite dairy farmer, Kendall Mark, everybody. Good morning.
Dairy farmer today, sidekick also today.
That's right. Let me just acknowledge that you look very...
Tired?
No.
Okay.
I like your glasses.
Thank you.
Very Lois Lane. You look like you're a librarian getting ready to yell at me for
Thank
talking
you.
too loud.
I am.
Yeah. I like them. What's up with the spectacles?
I'm a little tired today, Jason.
I like the honesty. We don't keep anything from you. If we're
No.
tired, we're going to tell you. Just like you. You're tired sometimes when you watch this show. We're tired sometimes when we do this show. Jeff has been tired since 1989.
He has.
So, yeah.
It's a record, I'm pretty sure.
Holding me on his back. You know what I mean? Carrying me around.
Carrying the team is
That's
exhausting.
right. Like a little dung beetle. A well-dressed dung beetle. Just carrying me up the hill.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know, it's just one of those nights, and everyone watching has those too.
Yeah.
That you can't explain it. There's nothing crazy that happened the night before. Nothing crazy happening today. I just could not sleep.
I call those
terrible.
relatables.
Relatable.
Everybody watching can relate to that. Having one of those days. You know what could help you?
What?
A Coca-Cola.
Oh, it could.
No, not that kind of Coca-Cola.
Okay.
Did you read? And I think I already know your... Coca-Cola just came out. It's available now. I think it's at the Cub. Coca-Cola with coffee. How do you feel about that?
I have questions.
Okay, what's your first question?
So is it like a Coke can that has Coca-Cola and cold pressed coffee in it?
Yeah, it's Coca-Cola in a can, cold, with coffee. So I read the review from the Washington Post, and the headline basically said it all. It tastes like Coca-Cola until it doesn't. I'm not joking, that's the exact quote. It tastes like Coke until it doesn't. They said that when the first sip, the first touch of your tongue, it's Coke.
Okay.
But then it finishes with coffee.
Oh, so it's like those Starbucks things you can get in the can?
Yeah, but it's Coca-Cola. And then the very end of it, like they say with wine, I love how confused you are by this. This delights me. But no, it has a coffee finish. If I'm speaking like Leslie Miller, it has a coffee finish. I don't know. This doesn't. I've gone back and forth all day today. At first, I thought, oh, it sounds good. Now, I don't know. We're gonna have to get it.
Yeah.
We had an intern. We would just send him to Cub Foods right now, but we don't have interns.
Where's Kenny when you need him?
Kenny, where's Kenny? Where's Q? Where
are all of them?
We had the Wonder Twins, Elise and Rachel. Loved them. Elise and Rachel. I swear one of them's going to be president. They were on it.
This is before my time.
I'm horrible with names, so yeah. But anyway, but yeah, we need to try some.
Does it have like double the caffeine? Because that's what really matters. It can taste like mud. I mean, espresso kind of does already.
Has a little more caffeine than regular Coke, so it'll keep you up. I don't know. If you guys have tried it, type to us on the Facebook page. Let us know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And one more thing with food related, because I was right next to that story.
Please.
I love when people do that. My grandma used to do that. You know, like.
I do that with the poop bags. Okay, sorry. You know,
very sorry.
You're opening the dog.
This is where I think people are gross. You ready?
Yeah.
In a recent survey,
Okay.
70% of people admit that they double dip on a regular basis. Do you double dip?
Again, I have questions. Like publicly, like at a party, at a soiree, at a restaurant.
I don't know. Everywhere. I mean, just everywhere.
Well, it leads to my answer of I double dip when it's like my husband and I, or my family and I. Well, not anymore. I guess I'm like one of those people that does it, bites, and then does the other end.
Yeah, I do it if I know the person. Like if I was with Jeff,
right.
Executive producer Jeff, I was at a party with him.
Right.
I would do it just because it would irritate him.
Oh my gosh, he would hate that.
And but I do it with my family.
Right.
But if anyone other than my family knows, especially the COVID,
right.
I'm probably stopping with everybody.
Right. And if you saw somebody do it nowadays, you'd be like,
I'd be a little shame. A little shame, like, oh, gross.
Mm-hmm. You do one of these.
Yeah. Let's get started, everybody. It's time for the hot dish. No double dipping in this. No, look at that. It's fresh. Fresh hot dish. Leo double dips, though. The future, that's our director, the future of the Ellen Show is in doubt this morning. According to Page 6, Ellen has just 1 year left on her existing contract, and negotiations are expected to begin next month. But whether her reputation taking a hit in the last year and ratings falling some 8% have to play a role in it, I don't know. But the Kelly Clarkson Show could take over her time slot. In most markets, not this one, Kelly's show airs after Ellen. Kelly's show became the most watched daytime talk show in 7 years when it debuted last year. And recently, it beat Ellen in the ratings for the first time. Wah, wah. Not a good sign. And with 1 year left, I don't know. You see, I don't want to get too inside baseball with the TV industry, but Ellen's show is syndicated. Kelly's show is syndicated. So that means that the stations across the country can basically put the shows on whenever they want. And that's why in most markets, it's Ellen and then Kelly or the other way around or whatever. Here, Kelly is on one network. She's on Channel 5. And then Ellen is on the WCCO. So that won't really affect them. But I don't know. I think Ellen's done. I do know. Why did I say I don't know? Here's my prediction. Okay. She's going to do next year, just like Oprah did. She will announce at the end of this season that next season will be her last. She'll do a big farewell season, and she's done. She doesn't need the money. She doesn't need the bad publicity that will continue to dog her fairly or unfairly for years. And the mojo has been taken out of the show. It has, and that's hard to get back. Yeah.
Do you think what she'll do next is something still in TV? Is she gonna go on tour?
No, she'll go away for a while, and then she'll do like comedy in a few years. We won't hear from her for a while. And America loves a comeback, so she'll do a comeback tour. All will be good.
Have you been talking to Psychic Maria? This sounds pretty spot on.
She lives with me now. Next in the dish, I love some Kornacki, some Steve Kornacki. A couple months ago, Jimmy Fallon we showed you this, surprised Steve in his office at 30 Rock and discovered it was a mess. So last night, Fallon returned on a mission. Look.
No. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. What happened? Steve Kornacki, what is going on? Has he been living in here? These gloves aren't even for COVID, it's just for this office. Look at all these ties. Who has pre-tied ties? He has a hockey jersey, measuring tape, blazer just thrown. You couldn't wear this on TV. More ties under the blazer. Ties should go on the racks. Like clothes going to the rack. I'm literally making your room cleaner by throwing things. This kind of looks important. I really, honestly, I don't even know. I have no idea. You're welcome, Steve. Take a break. You earned it.
Later in the day, Steve shows up, is thankful, but said the cleanliness, here's Steve, would last literally a day. Yeah, look at that. Well, I read a study once that the smarter the people are, the messier they are, like office-wise.
You do see that with professors, at least the way that they're kind of spoofed on TV. Maybe I'm just taking that from TV references, but that I remember going to classes in college and being like, your whole desk that you're basically renting for this hour to preach to me is a mess already. Yeah. How does your house look?
Yeah. But hey, some people in a mess, they know where every file is. They know where every paper is. They have an organized mess.
I don't believe them.
I do.
I do. Personal experience?
Yeah. No. I mean, if you go back there, back there's some clothes, but not like Steve Kornacki up in there.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
Jeff might take a photo.
Well, yeah. Next in the dish, big news For the Gryffindor crowd, Harry Potter could be coming to TV. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the suits at Warner Media, that's who controls it, are in talks to bring Harry Potter to the small screen. The franchise is one of Warner's most valuable assets, and expanding it has been a top priority for them. The 8 films, this is why, has grossed more than $7 billion worldwide. $7 billion. So far, okay, these talks are very, very early. We do not know anything. Here's what we know. They don't even have writers. They don't even have talent. Nobody has signed on. They've just agreed in principle to do this. You are a Harry Potter fan. I am a Harry Potter fan. I love this. I think this is a great idea. And if I was sitting in the writer's room, this is what I would pitch to them.
Okay.
I would say, hold it at Hogwarts. The setting should be at Hogwarts.
Absolutely.
Sprinkle in a few characters that we know, but make it about a new crop of kids. And I would specifically make it about a kid who seems to be wobbling from the good side to the bad side.
Oh.
That's what I would do.
Would it be, so it would be during Harry's time, not before
Post-Harry.
or after?
Don't do prequels. The problem with prequels is there's no consequences. We know what's going to happen to all these characters. Make it after Harry. Make it in a time period where Harry could visit if he wanted to.
Like his kids are there?
Or Pooter. What's Daniel Radcliffe doing? Sitting on counting his money.
He's just busy being married to Hermione.
Daniel Radcliffe, good guy.
Yeah?
Interviewed him several times. I've said it when he was a kid. He's a very nice guy. Raised right, dealt with fame right. And I think that's because he had a good foundation.
I am not looking forward to this.
Why?
I'm a purist about the books, about the movies. I don't like the later movies as much as I liked the early movies. I know, hot take. Not everybody's gonna like that. But that's my thought.
I know we have to go to commercial. You don't like Half-Blood Prince, the movie?
I think it's okay.
Oh my goodness. Where's that cardboard cutout? We need to get that so when I get rid of her from the show, we just move in the cardboard cutout. That's one of the best.
I think I'm doing this.
Do you like, I know we have to go. Order of the Phoenix?
Yeah, I mean, they're all okay.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. You like...
More hot dishes coming out of the oven. Coming up next, what does it say about the current season of The Bachelor that producers have to add more women mid-season? Producer Ted will break it down. Then delicious recipes, delicious stories. Our special guest today is now a member of our Jason Show family. Food blogger and former Letterman producer and my secret wife, Madeleine Smithberg, returns with a can't-miss salmon recipe and, yes, another hilarious Dave story. Get some more breakfast because we're just getting started. The Jason Show will be right back.
I want to be that person that gives everyone
guys.
assurance.
Hello.
Victoria, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
No worries.
Matt, I need to talk to you right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Talk to you in a little bit.
Hey, bud. How you doing?
Good.
Good to see you.
You too.
It's so hard to open up to Matt and talk about things when there's constant change and new things happening. I'm like, I can't even communicate my one thought. Thank you, Chris Harrison. I was in the middle of a sentence.
We had a record response from women who wanted to be on this show.
All right.
And to that end, there are some more incredible women that are dying to meet you and want a shot at falling in love with you. And they're arriving right now.
Oh my goodness. I can't take it. A limo full of new women have joined The Bachelor, just like that. For the first time in Bachelor history. Such a thing has never been done. 3 weeks into the season, throw out your at-home leaderboards. Just when you had it all figured out, Matt's search for love gets turned upside down. And with the addition of 5 more women, there's only one person to turn to. That means, once again, it's time for Most of America Loves Ted. Joining us now from Bachelor headquarters is producer Ted Johnson. Good morning, Ted.
Good morning.
Okay, I know the answer to this, but for the sake of television, I'm going to ask it. Hey, Ted, how did the women deal with the new women?
Not well.
Okay, next question. I'm just joking. No.
So anytime someone new comes into the show mid-season, it's usually like a former bachelor or bachelorette who's like, oh, I met this person and I want to see if it works, right?
Yeah.
This time, That didn't happen. It was just a brand new crop of women, and all these women who've been there are like, why are you coming in on our turf? But I'm also thinking, these women have been quarantining at their hotels for like the last month.
Yeah.
If anyone's coming in angry, it's these women.
Yes. Well, okay, but let me ask you. Okay, did they need to do this, Ted? You've watched these 3 weeks. Was the show that boring? Was this season that boring that they needed? Because I think Chris lied there. I like this Bachelor. I think he's a great guy, but I think that was a ploy. I don't think there was a record amount of women. Do you?
No, and no one had any idea who this guy was. And every year there's records amounts of women trying to get on this show. He's a little dull, and you need to kind of like poke him to get things juiced up a little bit. And Victoria's reign on the show may be coming to an end sometime soon. So maybe this was them being like, okay, we gotta add new blood.
Well, speaking of new blood, there's good news for us here in Minnesota. Correct me if I'm wrong, there's a Minnesotan in the new bunch?
There is. Her name is Michelle. She's a teacher from Edina, and she got the one-on-one date yesterday.
Ooh!
Yeah, right. I mean, right out of the limo, one-on-one date, and he is smitten.
So Edina for the win.
Yeah. So she, I put her in the top 4 at this point.
Okay, and if any of her family members are watching, please email us at our show page. We'd love to talk to you.
Yes.
Good stuff. If you got some dish, we'll take that too, Okay, there's also another storyline last night. I know Kendall's been talking about it. Eyebrows have been raised, jaws have dropped. What's going on?
This was insane. Now, before we get into that, The Bachelor, which has typically stayed with the same formula for the last
400 years.
400 years. They're starting to do something different, and they're doing a cold open, which is they've never really done before. They did it last night.
Explain, we do a cold open. Explain, Conan does it, Stephen Colbert. What is a cold open?
Think about the Saturday Night Live.
Oh,
you come right out of commercial, and it's boom, they're going.
It's the thing that airs before the main show open. Like for us, our cold open is the tease before Yam House sings.
Right.
Yeah.
So they did a cold open last night, and if this doesn't have you hooked, I don't know what will, Leo.
People have gone out of their way to find me and tell me, oh my God, watch out for this girl.
In what regard? Like, watch out with her how?
That she may be an escort. Oh. I'd heard rumors that she's entertaining men for money.
A shocking new episode of The Bachelor starts right now.
I'm sorry. Did that woman on the American Broadcasting Company just accuse another woman of being a hooker?
Yeah. Yeah. They went there.
Wow.
Yeah. And she claims they're both from Chicago, and the night scene in Chicago is a small group. No.
I lived in Chicago. It's a big city.
Yeah. So this is Anna calling out Brittany, and Brittany's like, wait, you're saying what? And everyone's basically like, you're full of it.
Wow. So what did Brittany, I mean, other than just, oh my goodness, was Brittany mad? Was she calling her lawyer? What was she doing?
Well, I'm thinking there might be some lawyers called. She was not happy. She kind of fired back. The next day, she was talking to Katie, Katie is kind of everyone. Katie is everyone's who is at home for the last 20 years. She is the woman who has been like to come in and being like, what were you thinking? And she's like listening. She's nice. She's kind. So she vented to Katie, and Katie basically told Matt,
goodness.
Rumors are going around, and you might want to get control of it. So Katie's a good person. Anna's bad. Brittany says she's not an escort.
There we go.
Michelle, top of the pack.
There we go. You heard it there. Ted Johnson, everybody. The Bachelor on ABC. My goodness. You were upset. You know, we were careful with the word bullying because it drives me crazy when people misuse that word and overuse it. But you said this borderlined on actual bullying.
There was the
this
girl,
episode.
Sarah, last week, who everyone in the house, other than maybe 3 or 4 people, ganged up on. Now this week it's this Brittany girl over something that someone apparently got on social media that maybe she's an escort. Can ruin this girl's lives, and they're laughing and joking and being cruel, and they're all doing it except for maybe 3 girls that are just quiet, and then the one girl, Katie, who's like, this is not okay. And I'm just like,
because you all realize you're on TV and this is going out there.
It's just cruel and mean, and I
unnecessary.
Love you, Katie. The rest of you, and we love Michelle.
Next in the dish, last year we talked about Disney Plus adding disclaimers to some of their older movies for negative depictions and mistreatment of people or cultures. Now they've removed some of the titles from the profiles of young children altogether. Here's the deal. If you see the story, this is the 411. Disney has pulled Dumbo, Peter Pan, the Aristocats, and Swiss Family Robinson from its offerings for children under 7. Disney says all those movies have racist stereotypes and tropes. Now, here's the deal. Let me talk about this first, and we'll get to the other thing that they announced yesterday. Look, my feeling with this is if it offends somebody, if it offends a massive amount of people, what's the big deal? This is, and they're not removing these movies from their entire site. They're removing them from the profiles of children, so they're still available. And to me, they still have the warnings at the beginning. I think it's good because things change. Things that weren't offensive 15, 20 years ago, and I know this elicits eye rolls to people that this doesn't affect, but if it does affect you, if you are in these cultures, I think this could be a nice learning opportunity. You know, if the kid sees the warning, what's that, Mom? Well, Timmy, here. This is, these anyway, this character, this is not nice. People don't say this anymore. Don't be an egghead. You know what I mean? It's a learning opportunity. I think this isn't overreaction. I think this is a good thing that they're doing.
I would also say, I encourage people who were going to have an immediate reaction to maybe watch those movies again if you haven't seen them in a while, and just look at that through a different lens.
Absolutely. Right? Yep. Disney's house cleaning they're not done. It's not just a film library. Disney Parks is making some changes as well. They announced everything kind of within a couple days. The Jungle Cruise ride is about to get a facelift. The company plans to remove all tribal caricatures and negative depictions of native folks, all to make the ride more inclusive in its depiction of cultures. I've ridden this ride many times. Again, I think it's necessary. I do get a little cringy when I've gone on this. This ride has been in the park since it opened at Disneyland, but it is. Every time there's a couple scenes, like home scenes, where I'm like, okay, that doesn't fly in 2020. Change it. The new things that they're adding, they're great. They did that with Pirates of the Caribbean. There used to be like a wench scene, like a female prostitute, basically, an auction. Well, you can't really have an auction for prostitutes at a Disney ride. People were all up in arms with that. It's like things change, it's change. Still ahead, everybody. She's one of our favorite guests. Former Letterman producer Madeleine Smithberg is back, and she's cooking up something tasty. Plus, of course, we are going to have great stories from her. That and more when we come back. Back in a moment. Welcome back, my friends. Well, our next guest, quickly became a fan favorite, and she quickly became my wife. She's a former producer for David Letterman and proud co-creator of The Daily Show, but now she can be found in the kitchen, only the kitchen. She doesn't leave the kitchen, with her blog, Mad in the Kitchen. Please welcome back to our show our good friend, Madeleine Smithberg. Hi, sweetie.
Hi, honey. You left your socks in the living room again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll pick them up as soon as we're done with this. First question, the last time you were here, there was drama caused by our producer, Ted. I just want to make sure, so we can throw him under the bus again for humor. Did he give you the right time for our segment today, Madeleine?
Yes. But I had a little bit of PTSD from the last time because he told me an hour later. So I'm relaxing. I'm kind of ready, not 100%. And all of a sudden it's like, you're going on. And it's not the way you want to start your day. Let me just say that.
I got it. Totally.
Quite stressful, but I don't think Ted will do that again. He had another time he gave me the wrong date. So I thought that I was going on and I hadn't heard from him. So like the night before I go, hello, do you want to talk about my segment? And then he goes, oh my God, did I tell you you were doing the show tomorrow? But I really like Ted and I don't want to throw him under the bus because he's the one that books me, Jason, although you could just do it through Messenger or shout it from the living room.
Exactly. Well, let's get cooking, my dear friend. We're making...
Ouch. I just walked into my thing.
Okay. Wait. I heard you have 3 cameras today. What is this? Is this a sitcom? Is this
I'll show you. I've got the overhead camera. I've got what's called the Sam Cam that my actual husband operates. And then I have my hero cam.
Look at that!
I have a lighting grid on my ceiling. Sam, I have a lighting grid on my ceiling that lives here. We have a little switcher. Things here at Matt in the kitchen are really taking off. But you know what I need? I need a stage manager. I'm always looking at the wrong camera.
I love it. What are we making today?
Okay, we are making something that is so simple, so easy, and really delicious. I made it for an episode of my YouTube channel, which is Mad in the Kitchen. Everybody needs to subscribe.
Yes.
And then I made it on the Today Show. And what this is a simple salmon masala. It is a filet of salmon, which we get beautiful here in the Pacific Northwest. And then there's 4 ingredients other than the salmon. We have 1 part coarse mustard, 3 parts maple syrup. Nothing can taste bad with maple syrup. And then we have a generous part, as it's called, of this amazing spice blend called Kashmiri Masala from Burlap and Barrel Spices. There's like 75 different spices in it. And that was posted on the spice group of Burlap and Barrel. And then, of course, I, being me, took it a step further. And I use white wine and I make a sauce. And this is what you do.
Okay.
You get to be artistic, which is always good. And I am going to, with my brush, I think this is an actual paintbrush. I couldn't find a paint, anyway, but I never used it to paint. But I paint it onto the salmon. I feel like Bob Ross. La la. You just paint this onto the salmon and then you let it sit like 20 minutes if you have them. And you can be pretty generous with it. I don't do the bottom. And then I have my oven heating to 450. You really do not do it very long. You want it to still be pink in the center. So I do it hot and fast. That's my motto.
Hot and fast.
And now I stick it in the oven. And while it is in there, I take the remainder of my sauce, which is just, remember, the mustard, Kashmiri masala, but you can use garam masala if you can't find this. It's in the supermarkets, maple syrup, and then my secret ingredient. And I dump like a lot of wine in there, and I just turn it onto a high flame, and I cook it and cook it and cook it and cook it until it becomes almost like a glaze.
Look at that.
It's a sauce glaze, my favorite kind. And then I put on my mitts, and this you'll understand later.
Yeah, that's coming up. Those mitts.
Important.
Yeah, they're super important. You'll find out later.
You will find out later. You got to tune in. I take it out of the oven. Look how gorgeous it is, but it's not done. Oh, this is where I made. Okay, I got it.
That's pretty right there.
I know, but then I dump the sauce on it.
Oh.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy good. It's a candy and a dinner. And then I put, just to make it pretty, put a little fresh parsley, a lemon. Then I put my mitts back on. Step 9. And
voila.
Voila!
Look at that. That's beautiful.
Look at that. 5 ingredients. It takes maybe 15 minutes total, and you look good. And you know what? I think a lot of people try to eat salmon, especially in the beginning of the new year, because it's really good for you and it's healthy. But you run out of ideas, and this just infused my, repertoire with a little zing.
Well, can you tell the folks? Can you tell the folks about your Zoom cooking classes?
Oh my God! So, Jason, I have gotten so busy. I'm a study in be careful what you wish for, because I just put a little thing on Facebook and said Zoom cooking classes now available, and we are booked solid. And so what happens is I'm here, and the people, most of them are they're like corporate and team building events. And yesterday I had 100 teachers nationally, the incoming presidents of the NEA, the National School Board. I'm doing one for Amazon executives on Thursday, where we're making a 4-course dinner, and they're mostly in Seattle, but a lot of them are in California and New Jersey. And we cook. I did my husband's office Christmas party. I did family parties. If anyone's interested, go to madinthekitchen.com and send me a message, and we'll figure something out. We can do big budgets, small budgets, big groups. We send party hats. Depends which package you get. But there are
packages, Madeleine. There are packages available.
I have 3 cameras and packages. Things are changing, Jason.
I love it. When we come back, there was almost a national tragedy on the Today Show involving Madeleine. We will explain when we return right after this.
Can we see your finished product? Because I think they're wrapping us, so we'd love to see.
Here we go.
Yes.
Here's my finished product.
Oh, that's beautiful.
1 second. I don't want to get burnt.
Yeah, don't burn.
And boom, I put the sauce on.
That looks so
I'm not
good.
really very finicky. And there you go.
That is beautiful. We love you.
She burned herself. Careful, Matt.
We can't wait to see.
Well, there's the national tragedy. That's our very own Madeleine Smithberg burning herself on national television. We're back with Madeleine, who is now a Today Show star. Okay, Madeleine, as we were watching the clip, executive producer Jeff goes, you can see, it's like seeing a train coming, like you knew it was coming. I saw your bare hand, and I'm like, oh God, I can't look. Madeleine.
If you play the tape back with special equipment, you can hear my fingerprints burning off. And the good news is now I can go totally incognito in society because my fingerprints are gone. It was one of those moments where I had the mitts, and they were new pink mitts. We're going to be doing all kinds of Mad in the Kitchen swag, and I'm trying them out. So I have the mitts, and I took it out of the oven, okay. But when I go to hold up let me not do it again because that would be just pathetic. But when I go to hold up the finished platter, not really realizing that the pan had been in the 450 oven. And that was the problem. I figured it out, and I just went for it. And it was a very out-of-body experience. I will tell you that.
Well, and
and super embarrassing.
Well, and I love it because Hoda, they're tossing a break. So I'm sure they're not watching, and they're like, oh, we'll be right back, while leftover skin of yours is hanging like on the plate.
My kitchen smelled like, I don't know, like something where skin is fried. It was quite jarring, but I survived. And I always have mishaps in my life. I always forget one thing. It's kind of my, it's a little bit of a, I spliced one of the Julia Child genes onto myself, and I always, have some problems. But I get through them, and so it's another reason to watch. It's like, will she survive the episode?
That episode leads us to this. So people watching knows we do our version of Oprah's favorite things called Best Thing Ever, and you have a Best Thing Ever. What is it?
Yes, I do. And this is going to come as no surprise. My best thing ever is my mitts. I love my oven mitts. They keep me safe. You can pretend they're puppets. They're really great, but you can like go into the oven without fear. And I've always loved my mitts. I said it in my first episode. I love my tongs and I love my scissors, but I really love my mitts. So that's what it is. That's my favorite thing ever.
And are those specific Mad in the Kitchen mitts yet, or are you working on that?
I'm working on them. We're in prototype stage, so you'll be the first one to get a pair. I'm playing around with different models and shades to find the absolute perfect color, but we are going to be making some Mad in the Kitchen mitts. It's kind of exciting. Things are, things are going well.
You have merch, Madeleine. You're going to have merch. That's a big deal with the kids. You have merch.
I have merch.
I know.
Somebody told me that. You don't have merch on your website? And I was like, is that a virus? Like, is that an infection? Is it like a fungal thing? I don't know what you're talking about.
Can I get a lotion for that?
Yeah, do they have a lotion? Is there a salve or a cream or an ointment? Like, it sounds awful. Maybe bugs involved.
Well, other than almost trips to the emergency room and a great recipe, whenever Madeleine's here, she always has a good story. And when we come back, another one right after this. Back in a moment. Merch.
You know, folks, for my money, a 10th anniversary just would not be complete without Radio City Music Hall, of course, a lobby full of sheep, and a handful of border collies. So, folks, here now is Tom Wilson and her old friends Molly, Ben, and Roy. Sheep are on their way to LaGuardia.
Okay. See, you just don't have that type of quality entertainment anymore. Welcome back. That's a clip from Late Night with David Letterman's 10th anniversary special back in 1992 on NBC. We're back with Madeleine Smithberg, who, of course, you guys know this, a former producer for Letterman. I'm sure, Madeleine, you have a story behind the scenes with that.
Jason, it's a story I'd really love to tell you over dinner sometime, because I'll tell the short version, but that was one of the most stressful days of my life. Just to give you an idea, I had to write that introduction as I was a segment producer, and normally you would write your introduction and it would just go into on a hand card or a cue card for Dave. But for Radio City, we had to get our introductions in like 3 weeks earlier because somebody wrote them with gigantic, like ridiculously gigantic magic markers, and the cue cards were 10 feet high. And I've never had writer's block. But that's not the story. The story was I had gone to the State Fair of Texas and I found this guy who had these amazing border collies and they herded sheep. So we brought them into the studio at 30 Rock and we had some trouble. And during our rehearsal, there was a news studio right across the hall. It was called Live at 5 with Sue Simmons and NBC News. And during our rehearsal, some of the sheep got kind of loose and they ended up in the Live at 5 studio and they were doing a broadcast. And so they weren't that happy. But Dave loved it. They went on the elevator and they left. And when it came time for the 10th anniversary, he specifically requested, and somebody came to my office and said, Dave wants the Border Collies on the anniversary show. And I remember thinking, okay, knowing that this was going to be, because like tensions were high, 10th anniversary, Radio City, the Rockettes, Bob Dylan. So I booked the guy. He's wonderful. And all of Radio City is a national monument.
Yes.
Even the rugs, the carpets are national monuments. So those Border Collies held those sheep on a vinyl mat on the carpet that was a national monument for 6 hours without moving. I've never been so impressed with a dog or a human. I mean, it was amazing. So everything's going fine, and we're figuring out how many sheep and will they start on the stage. We built them a little ramp and a pen. And then my nightmare shows up, and it is a representative from the ASPCA.
Oh, no.
And now this guy is on me. And he's like, let me take a look at the taxi. How long will the sheep be waiting here? What is going to be under their feet? Let me see if you know, you've got to take these seats out of the cab. I need to have every single protruding object covered in vinyl. And we're doing a 90-minute show, and this is like 4 minutes. And now the entire crew is down there getting this, cab safe for the sheep. And the man with the border collies was from Scotland, and he was just the most delightful man. And he looked at me and he said, doesn't this man know that these are sheep and that they live on rocks and crags and they're lamb chops minus 24 hours? Does he not aware of this? So the guy keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. And I go, what are you really concerned about? And he said, I'm just worried about the stress to the sheep. And I lost it. I said, the stress to the sheep? I had to write a 10-foot tall cue card. I've been on the phone with London. I've had to clear I haven't slept. No one on this staff has slept in 6 weeks. And you're worried about the stress to the sheep? And that was it. We sent them in a cab and they went to ostensibly to the airport, but he really wanted to know, where are they going? I go, they're going around the block and getting back out. Lay off. Anyway, that is my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we love you. Always a pleasure. We'll see you next month. Be careful. Don't burn yourself. And I can't wait for the merch.
Merch is coming. Go to Matt in the Kitchen on YouTube and subscribe to my channel. Go to my website and ask me about Zoom cooking.
That's right.
Matt in the Kitchen.
Everything she said. We love you. MattInTheKitchen.com. Subscribe, Minnesota and Wisconsin, and find her on YouTube as well. Search Matt in the Kitchen. We'll be back. No sheep when we return. The stress of the sheep. Welcome back. Oh, Madeleine Smithberg. I always get a headache from laughing after she's on. You can stay connected with our show on social media. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just search for Jason Show TV. And again, don't forget, support Madeleine too, just like we support Dax Holt. Search for Matt in the Kitchen. Show her some Upper Midwest love. Today's question from the gumball machine. Here we go, Kendall. What was your worst first date? Oh, okay. We'll be right back with the answers to that. Oh, my God. Edited version. Welcome back, everybody. Wrapping things up with our bubblegum goodbye. The mystery question today, what was your worst first date? Ladies first, as always, Kendall.
We'll leave mine very brief. It involved a movie theater and a teenage boy. And he was denied a lot of, boys are just dumb.
Oh, he tried to have some coming attractions?
Yes, with, the shoulder reach.
Oh.
So not as inappropriate as I'm making this sound, just more the shoulder
Awkward.
reach and it just.
Yeah. I've told both these stories a lot, so I'll pick, I think, my favorite one. I had just moved here. I lived in a building above a Dunn Brothers Coffee. I knew everybody. I knew the whole staff. And I had never gone out on a date here in Minnesota, much less a date as a gay guy, an open gay guy, and it was a blind date. And I told the guy I was going to be wearing a forest green sweater. He was going to be wearing a navy blue sweater. So I got down to the coffee shop, and the whole staff was like so excited for me because it was my first date. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm in the booth, and I have my little preppy outfit on, and I'm just all excited. And I will now imitate the guy. Can't stay on this camera, Leo. This is the guy sliding into the booth looking at me. Yeah, no sparks. And got up and left. Like slid into my booth, looked at me up and down, basically saying that I'm ugly. He looked like this and he goes, yeah, no sparks. And got up and left me sitting there, mortified. To this day, I'm 46. I still have PTSD over that. It's 23 years later. Anyway.
I love the full version of the story. It's
Yeah.
even sadder.
It's very sad. I know. It was Don Shelby's favorite story. I used to always tell him that he would laugh. Like, I don't think you're supposed to laugh at that, Shelbers. Anyway, tomorrow on the show, my radio wife, Alexis Thompson's back. She's going to be talking about what she has discovered about motherhood over the last year. Plus, plus she has a best thing ever as well. Not oven mitts. That's tomorrow. That's going to do it for us. If you're watching and you're a kid that's being bullied, you go out there and be yourself because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. Thanks for watching, everybody. No sparks. We'll see you tomorrow.